2 years ago, a woman sat alone at her kitchen table, late at night, surrounded by a small pile of purchases she genuinely couldn't explain. 3 candles from Target she didn't need. A brand new throw pillow, replacing one that was, by any honest measure, perfectly fine. A kitchen gadget still sealed in its box, sitting there like a little monument to a decision she barely remembered making. None of it was reckless. None of it was even fun anymore. It was just what her money quietly did when she wasn't paying close attention. Here's what made it sting more than it should have. She was earning $63,000 a year, a solid, respectable income, just about what government wage data calls a typical individual salary in the United States. This wasn't a story about not making enough, and yet her credit card statement showed $4,100 in charges, while her savings account held exactly $812. $63,000 a year and $812 to show for it. That gap between what she earned and what she actually had left over is the same gap millions of people are quietly staring at right now, usually at that exact hour of the night when nobody else is watching. The turning point came when she stumbled onto an article about a 100-year-old Japanese budgeting method called Kakeibo. What actually stopped her wasn't the math. It was a much stranger realization. The entire culture around money works differently in Japan than it does here. In the United States, wealth is loud. It's performed. It shows up as a new car in the driveway, a bigger house, a lifestyle other people can see and admire from the outside. In Japan, there's a quieter value called tsumashi, being modestly reserved, and it flips the whole script. Wealth is kept private. Restraint isn't treated as a punishment or a sign that you can't afford things. It's respected, almost admired, the same way ambition is admired here. And here's the part that should genuinely surprise you. She didn't start a side hustle. She didn't get a raise. She didn't white-knuckle her way through some brutal deprivation plan, cutting out coffee or moving back in with her parents. She just adopted a different operating system for how she thought about money, one habit at a time. 12 months later, that $812 had become more than $19,000. Same paycheck, same job, a completely different result. Here are the 10 habits that did it. The first is Kakeibo itself, the handwritten ledger. It was invented all the way back in 1904 by Hani Motoko, Japan's first female journalist, and it's almost embarrassingly low-tech, a notebook and a pen. Every day you write down what you spent, sorted into 4 categories: needs, wants, culture, meaning education and experiences, and unexpected. That's it, no app. And that's the entire point. A budgeting app lets your brain stay half asleep. It categorizes for you, it rounds things off, it turns spending into an abstraction you never really feel. But physically writing $42, DoorDash, want, creates what researchers call cognitive friction. You have to look at the decision and name it. That small, uncomfortable pause is enough to change behavior, and it can cut unnecessary spending by up to 35%. In her first month alone, just from writing things down by hand, she saved around $1,150. Nothing else changed. Just the writing. The second habit is Mottainai, and there isn't a clean English translation for it. The closest is a kind of deep regret over wasting something useful, almost a small ache. Compare that to the way waste is baked into American life. The average household throws away roughly 30% of the food it buys, worth about $2,100 a year. And most people replace a perfectly working phone every 2 years, simply because a newer one exists. She started photographing everything she threw in the trash, just as a plain habit, nothing dramatic. Within a week, the pattern was undeniable. Wilted spinach, a half tub of yogurt, leftovers she'd meant to eat and forgot about. She was wasting about $40 of groceries every single week without noticing. So she started meal planning around what she already had in the fridge before buying anything new, and she leaned into the idea behind Kintsugi, the Japanese practice of repairing broken pottery by filling the cracks with gold instead of throwing the piece away. Fix it, mend it, don't replace it. Her grocery bill dropped 30%, and she didn't feel deprived once. If anything, she says the food tasted better because for the first time she was actually planning meals instead of grabbing whatever looked good under fluorescent grocery store lighting. Habit 3 is Hara Hachi, a phrase from Okinawa, one of the longest living regions on Earth, that means eating until you're 80% full instead of stuffed. Translate that to money, and it means living on 80% of your income and automatically saving the rest. The recent decade average American personal savings rate has hovered around 4%. 4%. 80-20 creates something most household budgets never come close to: margin. And here's the reframe that matters. This isn't deprivation. It's a form of respect for the person you're going to be 5 years from now, the one who's counting on you not to spend every dollar you'll ever have today. Habit 4 is Kaizen, continuous small improvement. Most financial overhauls fail for a predictable reason. They're too big, too fast, and they trigger the brain's fear center, the amygdala, which is why so many New Year's budgets quietly die by March. Kaizen works because it stays under the radar. Cut dining out by 10% this month. Bump your retirement contribution by 1% next month. Switch to the generic brand after that. None of it feels like sacrifice, because none of it is dramatic enough to fight. But stack those 1% moves across a full year, inside something like a 401k or a Roth IRA, and the compounding is anything but small. Habit 5 is Ikigai, your reason for being. In the West, it got turned into a career optimization buzzword, but in Japan, it's simpler than that. It's whatever gives your daily life meaning. Applied to money, it answers one question: what is this money actually for? If your Ikigai is being present for your kids without money stress hanging over every dinner, an impulse purchase stops being a tempting little treat. It becomes an obstacle, something standing between you and the life you actually said you wanted. Habit 6 is Wabi-Sabi, finding beauty in imperfection. The entire American consumer economy runs on manufactured dissatisfaction. A scratched phone screen becomes a reason for a new phone. A slightly flat couch cushion becomes a reason for a new couch. A sweater that's pilled a little in the wash becomes a reason to scroll a shopping app before bed. It adds up to an average of about $5,000 a year that American households spend on clothing and furnishings alone. Wabi-Sabi is the opposite instinct, finding real, honest satisfaction in the worn sweater, the wooden table with a scratch that actually has a story behind it. Nothing there needs fixing, so nothing there needs replacing. That shift alone starves the upgrade impulse before it ever reaches your wallet. Habit 7 is Osouji, the deep clean. It's traditionally a physical end-of-year house cleaning, the kind where every closet gets opened and every drawer gets emptied out onto the floor. Financially, it's the same idea applied to your accounts, a full annual audit. Every December or January, she sits down and goes through everything, line by line. Every subscription she forgot she signed up for, every insurance premium, every debt balance, every investment account. The first time she did it, she found $318 a month in charges she'd completely forgotten she was paying for. Streaming services she hadn't opened in a year, an app subscription that auto-renewed twice, a gym membership for a gym she'd stopped visiting. That's almost $3,800 a year, recovered in one single afternoon, just by looking closely at something most people never look at twice. Habit 8 is Chokin, saving first. Most Americans run their finances in this order: earn, spend, save whatever happens to be left over. And because of something called Parkinson's Law, spending always expands to fill whatever income is available, so there's rarely anything left over to save. Chokin simply flips the sequence: earn, save, then spend only what remains. Set up an automatic transfer of 20% of your paycheck into investments the morning after payday, the same way a 401k or an IRA already does for you, and your brain quietly adjusts to living on what's left. That single sequencing choice is a huge part of why credit card debt is almost non-existent in Japan compared to the United States. Habit 9 is Shinrin-Yoku, literally forest bathing, which here is really just a stand-in for free living. In America, leisure almost always means a transaction. Dinner out, a concert, a shopping trip disguised as an afternoon activity. It costs the average household around $3,600 a year. Shinrin-Yoku is choosing recreation that costs nothing at all. A park, a library, a long walk with no destination. Cooking at home with friends instead of splitting a restaurant bill 3 ways. Here's the counterintuitive part. She cut her entertainment spending by 60%, and her weekends didn't get worse. She says they actually got better because she was finally present in them instead of just paying to be distracted. And the 10th habit is Hansei, honest self-reflection, done without guilt. Once a month, she spends 10 minutes closing the loop on everything above. 3 questions. Did I hit my savings goal? What did I buy that brought real value? What will I do differently next month? That short ritual is the mechanism that makes every other habit on this list keep improving instead of quietly fading out by spring. Here's the thing about all 10 of these. None of them are flashy, none of them make for a good highlight reel, and none of them will ever trend on their own. But stacked together, year after year, they behave exactly like compound interest. Slow, almost boring at first, quiet, and eventually unstoppable. That's the real twist hiding underneath all of this. The people who end up the most financially secure aren't usually the ones who earn the most, and they're rarely the ones with the flashiest car in the parking lot. They're the ones who understood that money is a resource to be respected, not a scoreboard to be performed for an audience, and who had the quiet discipline, day after day, to protect it. Go back to that kitchen table for a second. Same salary, same city, same bills. The only thing that changed between $812 and $19,000 was the operating system running underneath it all. That's the whole idea. You don't need a raise. You don't need a miracle. You need 10 quiet habits applied consistently for about a year. If any of these 10 habits changed how you think about your own spending, do me a favor. Hit subscribe so the next one finds you. Tap like because it genuinely helps this reach more people. And drop a comment telling me which habit you're starting with first. I read every one. See you in the next video.